Hello and welcome to the CPG Guys podcast, set at the intersection of commerce and tech. Your hosts, Sri Rajagopalan and Peter V.S. Bond, explore how brands and retailers engage consumers in a digitally driven world. And now, here are the CPG Guys.
Hello and welcome to this live special episode of the CPG Guys podcast. I'm of course Sri, a West Coast co-host and also CRO and co-founder of Think Blue Consulting, your trusted partner in your omni-channel journey, where you can get in touch with me at Sri at thinkblueconsulting.co. Please do listen to my younger daughter Laura Raja, the band Cat's Eye, who have now announced a full tour in the fall of Europe and the US. This time it's arena, so I hope you're able to get a ticket and I will see you live at the show. I'm joined today by my East Coast co-host and co-founder PVSB, who also moonlights as head of industry and client engagement at Flywheel, the commerce acceleration division of Omnicom. And we are live here at the NielsenIQ C360 conference for brands and retailers. Before we start here, I want to thank all of you that listen to us and our sponsors, of course. Without you, the podcast doesn't exist. Thank you. Make sure you're subscribing to our podcast on your preferred listening platform. You can get our latest episode and even go back to consume some of the 600 plus episodes we've already published. Episode 600, of course, was Tony Rogers, the CMO of Dollar General, and we had a full C-suite lineup leading up to it, including episode 599. CEO and board member of Newell Brands, Chris Peterson himself, who talked AI extensively. Now let's get to our episode. NielsenIQ's annual flagship 360 conference is held at the JW Marriott San Antonio Hill Country Resort and Spa this year, and it brought together an influential crowd of leaders from retail, manufacturing, tech, and media, of course. Centered around the definitive theme built for the future, the 4D event acted as a crucial playbook for brands and retailers working to stay ahead of highly fragmented consumer habits and accelerating digital shifts in our industry. Main stage keynotes from visionary figures like entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk and AI tech pioneer Shelley Palmer set a provocative tone, challenging conventional industry wisdom and pushing companies to bridge the gap between AI-driven ambitions and measurable business results. The defining highlight of the event, of course, was NIQ's rollout of 6 brand new generative AI-powered capabilities designed to operationalize trusted market intelligence across enterprise workflows. This is the first time the CPG Guys and pretty much everyone in the live audience saw a full reveal of NielsenIQ's comprehensive AI strategy, all the way from data capture, of course, data accumulation, and everything necessary to convert it to the wonderful market share and performance insights and analytics all of you in the brand and retail world use on an every single day basis, including all the tools that are going to be available for you. Here are some of those. Key product launches like NIQ's Cadence, a Gen AI native marketing effectiveness system, and NIQ Optic, a next generation predictive insights assistant, directly showcased how the company is executing its overarching roadmap towards agentic commerce, a future where AI agents increasingly guide product discovery, automated checkout baskets, and path to purchase options indeed. Between expert-led inspiration tracks, deep dives into retail media incrementality metrics, and the return of the annual Founders Pit Slam for emerging brands, C360 proved to be a masterclass in giving C-suite executives and all those that attended the real-world execution-ready tools needed to scale volume and drive sustainable commercial growth, which has been absent in our industry for quite a bit now. Beyond the technology showcases, the conference served as a powerful collaborative hub where attendees networked, dove deep into the changing societal and economic undercurrents that are actively reshaping retail. Panels extensively address localized consumer insights such as mapping behaviors around rising medical trends like GLP-1 usage, tracking the rapid evolution of social selling, TikTok Shop, and of course, navigating category disruption across beauty, health, and wellness verticals indeed. By embedding actionable strategies directly into the multi-channel grid and offering emerging startups a launchpad via the Pitch Slam, NIQ successfully proved the future of brand building is completely dependent on horizontal capability integration, operational agility, and human-centric baseline. Now, on to our episode. Our special guest today is none other than the host of the conference, the North America President, Liz Buchanan. She's one of the few that has the coveted CPG Guys varsity jacket due to 5 appearances over the years. Join Peter and me in our discussion live on stage to close out the conference with its main themes.
I know that song. It's
Yeah.
very familiar.
Who knows what Pinky Up is? Never mind. Let's move on. Well, welcome to this live taping of the CPG Guys podcast. Peter and I have started experimenting with a bunch of live ones, so this should be a lot of fun. I'm, of course, Shri, your West Coast co-host, joined by Mr. PVSB.
Oh, hey, Shri. How you doing?
East Coast co-host. How you doing, man?
It's funny because I'm East Coast, but I'm a Dodger fan. You're West Coast and you're a Yankees fan. What's that?
Most of the room doesn't care about baseball.
That's true.
Thank you.
Any love for the Cubs or Sox in the room?
Nice try, but we have 27 championships.
Okay.
That's all he says. Anyhow, let's move along.
That said, let me welcome our guest for today.
Hey.
Hello.
Miss Elizabeth Buchanan.
Thank
North
you.
America President for NielsenIQ. How you
It's
doing?
funny because I'm your guest at my event.
Isn't that great how it works?
I love it.
I know.
Thank you guys for being here. It's great.
Let's get this going. So, first of all, a good afternoon to all of you. What a fun 3 days from everything from AI, a bunch of learning. Have you said data enough times? Or have you said AI more times?
Never.
Shri, you know how they all can learn too? If they're not already doing it, they should probably subscribe to the CPG Guys on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. So feel free to take your phones out.
You must be important, Peter.
I know. I'm just trying.
Apple, Spotify, YouTube, show up.
There you go.
And then my most important word of the day, assimilating with today's pop culture, especially through insights. So let me get us going.
Yeah.
And Liz, let me ask you the first question. Talk to us about one big theme that emerged here at the conference, the event.
The event. There were lots, right? I think we know that. But the one that I want to highlight specifically is the importance of innovation. And we talked about industry innovation. Obviously, AI creates a huge opportunity for the industry to reimagine itself. We talked about product innovation from some of our breakthrough innovation winners, which we celebrated last night here at the event for the first time. And just to make mention of what that was, perhaps for some of the audience who weren't in the room, we have done a series of breakthrough innovation awards, which really look to recognize some of the greatest product innovations in the industry, leveraging our BASIS testing methodology to identify those that really have some of those breakthrough characteristics. And for the first time, we actually decided to do some of the awarding of them live at the event. And I think just based on the short event we did yesterday with a subsection of the full awardee list and the reception that got, we will probably make that a permanent element of this event going forward. It's such an important part of how our industry continues to need to invest to grow. And we want to make sure that we're being as helpful and useful as possible in making that possible. So I
was secretly hoping you would go to innovation, and the reason being, in this crazy volume challenge business we've been since March 17, 2023. A lot of people are going to come later and ask me what the heck has to do with that date, but I won't reveal now. One of the only ways out of this volume challenge is to have the right portfolio.
That's right.
You can category management your way out of it, but it'll only take you so far. But getting innovation right is very important. Are you willing to share who won and why?
Yeah, I can. I'm going to reference some notes here for a minute so I get these right. We had a few categories this year, and some of them are newer categories to the way that we think about the awards, but we really try to make them relevant to the moment. So the first was Protein Goes Mainstream, and that recognized Chobani 20-gram protein Greek yogurt. Reinventing the Everyday, Cheerios protein from General Mills. Indeed, you might. Indulgence meets function, Nature's Garden probiotic veggies. Proven platform with new growth went to Smucker's Uncrustables, peanut butter and raspberry. Delicious. Rewriting protein snacking, Wild Brands protein chips. Winning in moderation, ABI Michelob Ultra Zero. Design-led brand reinvention, Hostess Cakes. And from Pitch Slam to Innovation Winner, which is really about a emerging brand that has continued to invest and innovate in a meaningful way, Root and Splendor laundry detergent. So really, really exciting group of awardees, and just a subsection of the broader list, which people can find on our website.
If I can highlight what you said about protein in particular, you opened up with that.
Yep.
You know, Shri and I go to the CAGNY conference, the Consumer Analyst Group in New York conference, every year. 2 years ago, we went, and I think of the 30 CPGs that presented, 2 of them mentioned protein focus around the rise in use of GLPs. This year, it was more like 15 of them referenced it. Brands are starting to innovate, and they're understanding it's based upon consumer.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely. And shout out to our friend Bob Nolan, if you're still in the audience. Uncrustables.
Bob
He
Nolan
actually revealed it at CAGNY this year.
is an oracle.
See it. But Peter, I'd love to hear your opinion. One big theme that emerged here.
So the big theme for me was the concept of a fragmented customer journey, right? Let me ask people in the audience, how many of you think the world is about consumer gets exposed to an advertisement, they click on it, they buy the product?
He noticed we have a live audience. Congrats, Peter.
I'm doing my best.
Nobody got the joke. It's okay.
You know, it's surprising to me that so many CPGs still actually operate under that premise, right? What we're actually looking at today is a customer journey that is less of a funnel, not at all a funnel. It is really a spider's web, right? A shopper might discover your product from something they see on TikTok. A couple days later, they're in the store. They see it on the shelf. They pick it up. They scan the QR code. They put it back down. A little bit later, they're looking at their phone. They see some ratings and reviews. They're like, oh, that seems very interesting. A couple of pictures, maybe a usage video. They walk away. A couple days later after that, they're on Amazon, and guess what? They see the same product and it's got a subscribe and save offer. So they buy it, right? That's not
surprise.
That's not an unusual experience. That's what I call Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
That's really how we operate. The challenge isn't just about the multiple journey touch points, right? The challenge is that each of those touch points to a large degree lives in a different measurement ecosystem. The team that's working on Amazon is focused on return on advertising spend, or maybe ROI, right? They're probably using Amazon Marketing Cloud. It's a clean room. Sri, you know what a clean room is?
That's where I keep my brooms and
it's not where you keep your cleaning. No, it's where we mix data together from different parties so that we can get enriched data analysis. That's what it is. But the point is that you've got all these different entities, retail media, your brand team is looking at impressions on Meta, and your shopper marketing team may be still dropping an FSI, who knows? But the point is they're not talking to each other in many cases, and they're all measuring different things. The journey is fragmented to a large degree because we all fragmented it, right? And getting a handle on measuring that is a critical element. That's why having a full view, did you like that, Sri? The full view.
The full view.
A full view of this picture is
Kim Cox, where are you?
Now.
We didn't get a cheer from Kim Cox.
Exactly. Shit.
I didn't set him up. He set it on his own.
But that's kind of the thing. So to me, what I also heard is the brands that are winning are doing three things very well. One, they've really stopped treating retail media as a lower funnel tactic, right? It's full funnel. If anyone went to an upfront, or maybe you watched it streaming, I was at the Amazon upfront. If you didn't understand it was full funnel streaming TV, one of the things they talked about was Twitch, right? Twitch. I asked 6 brands the next day, how many of you have a Twitch strategy? No hands went up. I said, after seeing the upfront yesterday, how many of you are going to headquarters and starting to think about integrating Twitch into your strategy? All the hands went up. So it really is very much about that. Second, they've gotten really serious about using first-party data, the clean room aspect of things, using all the source data they have, some of their direct-to-consumer data, third-party data. All of that is about bringing it together. And third, and I know this is very near and dear to Liz's heart, is that brands are really still figuring out where they're going to exist in agentic commerce, right? If you talk to any brand manager who runs their brand site, particularly if you're not doing direct to consumer, the whole concept of a customer journey has been jettisoned. Why are you worried about a customer journey when you're not going to close a conversion? The brand site is now increasingly a repository for data to feed large language models, right? And so you have to understand that. You have to prepare for that. So I'll kind of leave you with this, Sri, as I think about it. Omnichannel used to mean we're present everywhere. Today it means more that we understand the consumer is going everywhere, and we need information to help us decide when and where to be for the consumers that are most important to us. And that's why having a full view to me.
Hey, full view again. How about that? All right. Now we'll ask the audience. This is a true audience poll. This should be easy. what should be my theme that I pick? Come on, 5 seconds. 4, 3. Shouldn't be that hard.
Pinky up.
Sorry. That happens in my house, so go ahead.
Pop.
I'm going to get to that, but I'm going to pick AI, and I'm going to tell you why.
Right.
AI is pop culture, by the way, at least in my house.
We posted something on Instagram yesterday for the CPG Guys, an AI-generated image of us going to the Baseball Hall of Fame, which we're going next month. And all of his daughter's fans jumped on and started harassing us over the use of AI.
We should have known better.
That's Gen Alpha.
But think about the theme of this event. We kicked it off with Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
Who here likes Gary? I've seen Gary many times. I've got to work with him in VaynerMedia and brand Neutrogena back in the days when I was at J&J. If you truly analyze what Gary says, he puts the truth out there. If I just filter through everything, and by the way, you can take Gary's entire conversation, put it through AI, and the first thing it's going to tell you, try this for fun later tomorrow when you get back to your computers. AI is the sign of our times. Between Gary discussing how it may impact them on the creative side, which means for the brands in the room, retailers in the room. By the way, retailers, private label, your creative needs to improve. This is your chance with AI because you've swung and missed the bus already for the multiple decades at this point. But all of a sudden, private brands or private label has become one of the most important things on the shelf space now. From there, we went to Shelley Palmer. I think Shelley did enough talking about Claude especially, as well as the 5 different types of AI engines you can use. Then we jumped into, I've been talking to Liz and Troy now for a year about their own AI strategy. And I felt at this event, we got a complete reveal of the entire AI strategy, from how it interfaces with collecting data, integrating data, cleansing data, all the way down to the mobile app that Troy revealed. AI is here. And in the data and insights world, it can become your best friend, or you can choose to make it your worst enemy and avoid it, but it's here. So if you ask me, AI is one of the single most important walkaway themes from this event. All right, so moving on, Liz, I'd love for you to reflect on either a quote or a statistic that was either in the buzz here over the several conversations you had, it was up on the screen, you heard it, any one of those work?
Yeah, it was actually one of the pieces of my early presentation on day 2, where we talk about the gap between openness to trying agentic shopping, which is prior to trying is 40 to 50% say they're open. After, being a user of a LLM or an agent jumps up to 70 to 85%. But only 8% today have actually completed a purchase through an agentic.
Liz, I was looking just about 3 hours ago online, and the report I saw said from Google, and I confirmed with Jose as we saw him off stage, the average number of characters used in a search this year versus last year is up 18%.
Yeah.
Now, is that because we're necessarily becoming more verbose? No, it's because people are shifting their behavior to ask questions that are more contextual in nature. It's not spear phishing as much as it was.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And that sets me up perfectly for what I think is the so what to that entire, statement. And it's really what we all need to be doing now with urgency. And it's the 6 areas of focus that I talked about yesterday. So really investing in building preference intelligence so that the agent knows how to interpret preferences, product intelligence, structured product data, complete, accurate availability intelligence, so that agents can actually verify that the product is available, purchase verification, channel measurement, and optimization intelligence. And so, those six themes today are incredibly important for us to be supporting. They're the backbone of our product strategy and what we launched in the segment that followed, and critical, I think, for us to move with speed against them.
That was an important slide, Liz. If people want a copy of that slide, can they get it? Because it tells the whole story on how AI is approached.
Yep.
One other thing, Liz, I wanted to ask you, the 8% number that you quoted, how to interpret that? We can say it's only 8% that are using AI for shopping, but that's 8% that's no longer in the hands of retail.
Yeah, I don't know that I would go as far as to say they're no longer in the hands of retail, because if you remember our definition of agentic shopping includes recommendation and purchase. That stat is specific to purchase, that an agent actually helped make a purchase. But there is still a lot of behavior that retailers can influence through the agentic experience, and we saw some great examples of that on stage. We just heard from Google and Ulta, and conversation yesterday between Uber and Sephora, and we've had lots of that discussion over the last couple of days. So I think it's a huge opportunity.
I'm going to share mine now, and I think Nicole already called it out. Nicole, what was it? Thank you. Poor Nicole, she lost her voice, and sorry,
Pop
I didn't
culture.
mean to do that. But TikTok. We asked this question, I think, 2 days ago. Gary did. How many of you have a TikTok account? Please raise your hand. I just asked, do you have a TikTok account? I'm not asking you, do you post? Are you frequently commenting?
Lots of hands up.
Lots of hands.
I have a MySpace account. Is that no? Is that
no? I think for people like you, it's relevant.
okay? Good.
Very much, yeah. You in the Dodger world can.
I'm
live
pretty
there.
cool.
So I think there was a stat quoted of something like 100 million units of a certain SKU or a brand selling via TikTok in a virality moment. The numbers being traded on these online shops is absolutely mind-boggling. And most of that is happening via pop culture. What is pop culture? Not the way we would think it. It's not necessarily Cardi B. It's influencers who actually have millions of followers, and very short personal story of my own story, which Peter reminds me and corrects me every time I say I know Becky G. So I'm backstage at Coachella, and I'm taking the golf cart ride from one stage to another. And there's this, my wife and I were late for a golf cart ride. So there was this young girl who said, no, y'all can come with me and my family, and actually asked two of her family members to step down because she said, I know you're going to watch Laura, my younger daughter. And I sat next to her and I introduced myself and I said, who are you? I got a nasty tap on my back from my wife to shut up. And then I pulled up my Instagram and I did a quick AI check. It was Becky G with 35 million followers. I didn't even know who she was. Becky G is selling hundreds of millions of units on TikTok. 35 million followers. This is the world as brands and retailers we're completely missing. That's what pop culture means. So,
no, and Sri, to add to that, I think it's important that when we talk about this, because we mentioned on the podcast, if you are, I don't care if you're a CMO or frankly, you're a junior level person, if you don't understand some of this, the biggest thing you can do is get past yourself and ask people who are doing it to show you about it.
I was worried for a second he's going to talk about Gap and American Eagle.
Yeah.
We'll stray away from Cat's Eye and Gap. How about
there you go.
But what's yours?
So for me, I actually like Bose's talk. A lot of people don't know this. Sri, Bose, and I all work together at PepsiCo. In fact, I was on her floor, and when she says she actually pulled data reports, I know because I was one of the people helping her run those data reports. So being informed, not just making decisions based on hunches, and having that full view again at your disposal is what will drive success more so than just hoping. Hope is not a strategy in terms of growing business. Growth is a major concern for most consumer packaged goods companies in this economy. So having that underpinning, that knowledge, that ability to analyze data and know what to look for, what to ask for, will carry your career very, very far. I remember we had on a chief customer officer a number of years ago, our friend Rachel Marler, and she started as an analyst at Nielsen, working at, I think, Bristol-Myers Squibb back in the day. And she said that particular component of her career was so instrumental to getting her to a chief customer officer level.
That should be our recruiting
Absolutely.
motto.
You know what? I just got struck by something. I realized if Becky G ever listens to this podcast, I'm toast. But that's
you have to worry about that.
I think I don't have to worry about that.
If you're concerned about whether she thinks you're cool or not, don't worry.
Okay, we'll take that. So am I relegated to MySpace?
Yeah, I think
yes,
so.
Okay. Me too.
Might be.
All right. Liz, talk to us about one big thing to take home from this event.
Yeah, I think this helps solidify for me even, and obviously we talk about this a lot within NIQ, but that the industry dynamics around data are really going to be changing. And I think it sets up a pretty fundamental shift for information and intelligence services companies like NIQ in how we need to go to market and operate and drive value. And some of the product announcements that we made yesterday are leaning in a much bigger way to a much more open ecosystem construct around how we can be useful in an AI-driven world. And I think that that is essential at this moment, but it will require all of us in partnership and collectively to change together and to manage that change together. So we're really looking forward to helping to lead that for the industry, but it is something that we all need to know is happening.
Mine's going to be very easy. If there's one thing you need to go back home to your computer and do, what is it?
Go to the CPG Guys podcast and hit subscribe.
He's
no?
good.
Okay.
He's good. AI.
Yeah.
Vibe coding. It's not that intimidating as it sounds because it has the word coding. Here's the good news. It's not Python. It's not C++, or for people like me who had started with COBOL 84. None of that stuff. You don't have to learn programming. All vibe coding is using English language to write the right prompts to ask a question. It's not that hard.
The whole irony of the era of large language models is the revenge of the English major, right? I never learned how to program COBOL or C++, but my command of the English language makes me invincible in the world of large language models. Remember?
I'll give you that. But contrary to popular belief, my first language is English. Why don't you tell us yours?
Yeah, for me, big takeaway here is you have got to your point, spend your time learning about all these new skills. Don't sit on the ball at like you're at the 2-minute mark and you've got a 9-point lead in the Super Bowl. You need to lean in and learn these capabilities. Use the data at your disposal. Make yourself ferocious. That is what will drive success. Because if you sit around hoping that that team on the other side of the field is coming at you, and you're going to survive, you're not. They're going to blitz you. They're going to grab the ball. They're going to go to the end zone. They're going to score, and then they're going to do an offside kick, and before you know it, you've lost the game.
Pinky up to you. Let me just quickly remind everyone, this actual recording, along with Peter and my own commentary on several individual sessions that we saw over the last few days, will actually become a podcast and be live in about 3 or 4 weeks from today after the Cannes Lions event.
Where can they find that podcast episode?
Is it CPGGuys.com?
And what else?
Apple?
And?
Spotify?
And?
Google?
And?
Multicast?
YouTube, Google. Yeah, YouTube, Google. Okay, good.
Instagram, TikTok.
You can ask Alexa to play the CPG podcast, and she will.
That said, just another quick reminder for everybody.
Liz, I know.
Before I turn it over to Liz to close out this event, this Saturday's episode is actually, we were flown out to Atlanta to Newell Rubbermaid's headquarters. We recorded a live episode with the CEO of Newell Rubbermaid, and all Chris talked about was AI. It's an important one to listen into, so I encourage everyone this Saturday, tune in.
I've never met a CEO of a major Fortune company that had the depth of knowledge of large language models, of transformation, and what they've done there. It blew Sri and me. It's a very epic conversation.
All right, let's transition. And before I turn it over to you for closing, I have to say hats off to my friend who actually got to see building this journey, Kim Bird. Please close us out.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
It's been a great couple of days. I hope you all feel the same. I leave this event every year very, very tired, but very energized at the same time. And I wanted to say a couple of thank yous as we close out and get ready for a fun evening ahead. First off, to all of our guests, you really make the event what it is. And
don't mind him.
I know,
No, that's what we do.
Don't mind me. Your energy and your partnership and the hallway conversations and the late night hotel lobby Whataburger order, which some of us are regretting a little bit today, I think. But truly, we are grateful for your investment of time, and it means a lot to have you here. So thank you. Secondly, we have this incredible events team that Sri just mentioned, led by Kim Bird, and they just put everything they have into making this event special. So so much goes on behind the scenes, and there's an entire production team who really are living for 3 days in like a cavernous environment behind the stage here, making sure that everything goes smoothly, and they just do such a wonderful job. So I really want to thank them for that. It's just dark, and like I live in the dark for 3 days. Our speakers, so many of you dedicated your time and your thought leadership, and it means a ton. It matters. I heard so many great comments this year about the content. We obviously are always looking for feedback as well. So please continue to give us feedback, but we want to make this a space where everyone can really learn and go away and leave inspired. And then HEB actually was a great partner to us in this event as well. Hopefully a lot of you had an opportunity to try some of their own brand snacks that were in the break areas today, but they contributed in a meaningful way to making sure that we all got a little flavor of San Antonio retail as we were here live. And then thank you to you guys, the CPG guys, for helping us memorialize the learnings from this event in an upcoming episode, and for generally just being great advocates for the industry.
Yeah, it's, we're honored to be with you, Liz. I should note, if you've been on our podcast 5 times, you get one of these varsity jackets. Liz has one, but unlike us, she was smart enough to understand that leather and wool in Texas in June is probably not the best thing to do.
Yes, that's the reason. Love you both very much. All right. With that, we're going to close out. Thank you all so much.
Let me remind our listeners, you can find all of our content by simply going to a web browser and typing cpgguys.com as the URL. If you or someone you know has something to contribute to this ongoing discussion on the CPG Guys, please send us an email at reachus@cpgguys.com. That's REACHUS@cpgguys.com. To our audience, I want to thank you for the clicks, likes, comments, DMs, meeting us at trade shows, coming to our events, recording episodes with us, and our sponsors. We're always grateful and thankful to you. The show doesn't exist without all of you. You work with us all year, and we're grateful to have you as our audience and partners. It's a pleasure to host Liz on the show today, that too live. Thank you so much, Liz and Peter, for taking the time to do this live from San Antonio on our practitioner platform, the CPG Guys. To our audience, check out all the digital liner notes.
The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.